everyone. Welcome to episode 22 of season 3, Zahadoom. Alright, the episode is pretty good. I'm going to go into a bit of a rant here. I already did it once, and I have to say it. I just have to say it. Spoilers included. So I'm going to try and do the review here real quick without spoilers, and then I'm going to go off on a huge rant about something because it really bugs me. And man, they could have made this so much better. So much better that it just drives me nuts. Okay. So, the episode itself is good. If you hear what I'm about to complain, it will ruin this episode for you potentially. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Like, it is a very well made episode. It's very compelling. It's very enjoyable. You know. Yeah. Okay. It could be better. So much better. And anyway, we'll just leave it there. Okay, spoiler territory. If you don't want to hear it, stop now. If you're at this point and you're like, oh, okay, I'll stop. I don't want to spoil it. Okay, cool. But if you wouldn't mind subscribing or something like that before you wander off, I'd appreciate it. You don't have to. This is my side content. This is not my main content. I'm actually putting together other stuff. This is just me practicing and getting the hang of things. All right, now on to spoilers. Okay, we have the shadows here, yes? The shadows embody warfare, or chaos even. Yeah, I bet you haven't really thought about that before. If you think about chaos, do the shadows really feel like chaos to you? Because they don't to me. You know, way back, way back, way back. There was this episode where this creature shows up on the station and it's kind of like this vampire thing. But honestly, if you look at it visually, it kind of reminds me of a troll. Like a chaos troll. And see, I'm like, you get this with Malari. At this one point in the show, something happens to Malari, and this is towards the end of the show. And if you've been watching this, spoilers, or I've already said spoilers. He gets a little infection thingy, a little worm that controls him thingy. I don't know what to call it, an octopus? I don't know. But I mean, yeah, right there. These guys are freaking chaos. And yet, what are they doing? Like weird, like, you know, a UFO abduction crap with whirring blades and surgery and stuff, and they have people working for them, but those people working for them aren't really like, I mean, they're kind of creepy, but see, that's the whole point. They're kind of creepy, but it's like, why? Okay, if they're really the embodiment of like, hey, we're trying to make people stronger because we think evolution is about violence, why does all their races look the same? Why do all their allies look bland? Like, where are the Centauri version? Where are the human versions? Okay, so we have those. It's like, at this one point in the show, we have these human destroyers that are totally pimped out with shadow tech. Why don't they do that ever with people? Yeah, you know, you have this episode where you see the shadow human, like, interfacing with the computer, and it looks like a giant, like, you know, they just slapped a bunch of computer parts onto him, and it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Why didn't they do some, like, tentacles or something? I mean, chaos, guys, come on! Spikes and spines and mutations. Seriously, where are the mutations? Literally, they embody evolution, and yet they're insanely, like, uniform. Okay. Get it? Yeah. Like, seriously, this has been bugging me for a while now. And it's like, man, they could have made the shadows so much cooler. The shadows don't have bodies, just like the Vorlons. The shadows are these mutating, infesting parasite things. Okay, that's a bit trite, I know. But, and this is the key point, they're not like taking over the host. They're not mind controlling them. They're mutating them. like evolving them, helping them improve. They drive them into fights and battles, like that big monster that's a vampire thing. They help create these super creatures. Yeah, they could look like the little weird spider creatures. I still don't really get that at all. But hey, okay, whatever. Um, but I mean, like, instead, the most like horrible thing is they have these stupid like dreams about alien abduction surgery stuff, and they like drill things, and then the person wakes up and goes and that's it. And then it's their servants doing it, and it always looks like really primitive technology doing it. It's freaking shadows. These guys are supposed to be freaking billions of years old or something, and they're like been fighting the Vorlons for ages. And I mean, what? They just now got around to like, taking telepaths and trying to merge them with their ships. They just now got around to merging their technology with human technology. Where is that like drive? See, this is the point. Like, they didn't merge the human technology with theirs. The humans did it. Where is that? Man, where is that compulsion? See, they're allies. They have these allies, but their allies are so boring and bland and so clearly, like, after the fact. Okay, the shadows leave. Okay, great. All of a sudden now we have these new vessels that are like, I don't remember what they're called. I just watched the entire show, by the way, so I should remember, but I don't. They're just meh. Like, so bland, so boring. I've already forgotten. Anyway, why do they just magically show up? Why do they actually look rather generic and bland? It's like, they imply that these guys are allies. They imply that they work for the shadows. What do you mean, work for the shadows? Who works for freaking chaos? Come on! The shadows didn't become allies with the Centauri. The shadows didn't become allies with the Narn. The shadows didn't become allies with the humans. They manipulated them. They used them as pawns. They flat out set them up to get butchered and slaughtered because they didn't care about how many humans were happy. They didn't care about how many humans lived. They cared about pushing and fighting and developing and evolution. Chaos. Sorry, it just really bugs me. For years, I loved the early parts of the Shadow, and then you find out the stuff, and I've never been able to put it to words until now that I'm doing these reviews, which is kind of the point. And I'm just like looking at them, and I'm like, yeah! Man, I don't want Warhammer 40k chaos. Okay, I'm not asking for that. But I mean, seriously, no one's thought about it even a little bit? Like, these guys literally use these worm things to like hijack people. They literally plug people into their freaking ships. And they use computer parts to do it? What? See, it's like, what? What are they? What? There is so much potential. There is so much they could have done with this, and they did nothing at all. Just complete and utter crap. And it drives me bonkers because you know what? This should have been an incredibly powerful and an incredibly compelling moment. Because we get to the Shazaha Doom, and we should basically see, like, I don't know, not like, normal town, city stuff. I get it. They were supposed to be kind of setting a trap for Sheridan. But, I mean, what's the point, first of all? Yes. Everything, it's just like, what's the point? Like, I don't know how to say it. We never see that troll creature again. We never really see like a diverse anything. They're supposed to be diverse, I think. The Vorlons are all like uniform and bland and orderly, and the shadows are all chaos driven. I mean, the Minbari are clearly servants of the Vorlons, and the Minbari are clearly boringly, blandly, like, orderly. It's boring. The chaos, the shadows are supposed to be chaos. The people who work for them shouldn't be like, structured and uniform and so on and so forth. They are literally using pod things to control ships so they can use remote controlled warships. Yada, yada, yada. There's so many things. Oh, actually, see, now that one's actually a pretty good example, but that comes from later on. There is so much potential here, and they just don't use it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Again, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, I'd appreciate it. The longer one of these reviews are usually the better ones because I tend to go off on a rant like this. The shorter ones tend to be a bit bland and boring, but I mean, I got to go through the material, so you do too. Ha ha ha. Anyway, you guys have a good one.